call a peel and reveal. We're going to be taking the supports off some 3D printed miniatures, most of which are available on my shop, which you can see there in the background. Now I've already run these miniatures through a initial wash, and then I clean them again with a cleaner wash, and now I'm putting them into hot water to loosen up the supports. And in just a minute, after they soak, I will pull them out one by one, and we'll start to reveal what they look like. Okay. I'm going to start off here. This is a cane for a miniature, which I will show you as much of as I can. So there is a hand and a cane. This is part of a Plague Doctor set, which I will show you when I get a chance. Here, up next, is the head of the Plague Doctor. See how easy they come off once you've soaked them in hot water. Here's the head of the Plague Doctor. This is the head of a 140 millimeter scale. This next piece is by Monster Atlas. This is at 40 millimeter scale because the person who bought it bought the 32 millimeter, but it was a little small for his miniatures set, so I went ahead and printed him the 40 millimeter. And here's a Nothic. Okay, this next one is a Union soldier. He's part of a set of soldiers that is lighting a cannon. Most of the rest of those I actually already did yesterday. This was a carryover. You can see this is by 3Dimontis, 3Dimontis. Let's pop a couple more in there now that we have room. Some of these are not safe for work, so I won't be able to show you them here on YouTube. But let's see, up next we have these are some Stranger Things kind of chibi type miniatures. Nope, sorry, these are the Harry Potter ones. Here is Hermione. So I don't actually sell these on my store. The person who makes them does not allow for commercial licensing. However, if you are the lawful owner of an STL, then I can print it for you as a service, and that's what I did in this case. So there is Hermione. She'll need more cleanup of these extra supports, but that's what she looks like. Let's see who's next. This is another wizard. Could be, yeah, I'd say that's Ron. And we will see Harry in here soon. I also have some Stranger Things characters, as I mentioned. Up next we have a Minotaur. This is by DM Stash. This is the 54mm version. There we go. Great detail on that. Shot in the back by an arrow. Here we have another DM Stash miniature. I can't remember if this is Arinia or Cadna. That was... okay, that was not her sword that snapped. Which is good. Even with the hot water, this one's a little difficult to get off. I believe this is Arinia, and this looks like a 40mm version. Can be used as a drow or elf female fighter. This one is one of the Stranger Things characters. Nancy. There we go. I was drawing a blank on her name for a second. This is Nancy from Stranger Things. Here's a Stranger Things character that you'll recognize, I'm sure. It is Vecna himself. Lord Vecna. These are all printed at about 2 inches tall. And here is another Harry Potter. This is the actual Harry Potter. There we go. Make sure we can see the shop name in there, in case you're interested. Here is Harry Potter. You can see his scar on his forehead. Of course, the glasses. The boy who lived. Okay. And this next one is not safe for work, so I'm just going to rush through it. And at this point, I'm going to refill my water, so hang tight for just a moment. Refilling the water now. This is my first live broadcast. I don't expect anyone to come by. I don't expect it for quite some time, to be honest. But it's just a way. I have to do this anyway. I have to take these supports off. So I might as well use the opportunity to showcase the miniatures that I have. got some fun Harry Potter ones coming up with this batch. So here we go once again, soaking them in that hot water. And maybe a couple more. All right. Let that soak for a minute or two. And here we go. Let's pull one of these out. All right, so this is a boot for that Plague Doctor miniature. And then we have some bases. Nothing particularly interesting here, but they need to get done. Alright, this is a popular one, very popular. This is an undead sorcerer, or a necromancer. This is by Nerikson. This is one of my best sellers. A faceless necromancer. We have another base here. And I'm not sure what this looks like. A Gatling gun for one of my not safe for work minis. That's what it is. Just a Gatling gun that's going to attach to another mini. Alright, but let's get into the more interesting ones. Let me do one more base here. And then we have, this is Haley Brooks from DM Stash. She's up on my site, I believe, as a Genasi Rogue. Now we have one by Vault Miniatures. This is a survivor. Female survivor with rifle, something like that on my site. 32mm scale. Okay, now let's get to some more Harry Potters. I think we can tell who this is going to be. Once again, do not actually sell these. I do not have commercial rights to them. However, if you own an STL file and you need it printed, I can print it for you as a service, as long as you have the right to own it. I can print it and sell it to you. There he is, Dumbledore. This needs a lot more cleaning to get these other supports off, but we'll do that after he dries a little bit. Another one you might recognize right away. At least I hope so. It is he who must not be named. I just call him Lord Voldemort. Needs a lot of cleanup, most of which will be done after the next wash when he's dry. Sorry about that. I'm going to do some of that now. So I am cleaning Lord Voldemort, a 3D printed miniature. And I have other miniatures to show you. I did have someone pop in for a second, so I had to reset. But I am cleaning 3D prints. This is Lord Voldemort, and let's see the next one. You might recognize him through his supports, but let's remove his supports and see who it is. That's right. It's Dobby. Poor Dobby. He looks sad. Sad Dobby. Alright. Let's see. I think we have another. Yeah, let's see who this is. This one is one we've looked at before. Again, from the Stranger Things set. We have Lord Vecna. And we have a little piece of something bigger. No, we have a 15mm piece. And 15mm is very small. This is part of a SWAT team that we have. And finally, we have another Dobby. Alright. Allow me another minute to refresh the water. Okay, we have some nice hot water here. So let's go ahead and pop some minis in. We've got some bigger ones here. And we have some more Stranger Things and Harry Potter ones to look at. dropping them into the hot water, letting them soak. And in just a moment, we will start pulling off the supports. Okay, let's see who we have here. Oh, this is Hermione. Did I print two Hermiones? I must have. Let's see if I can find the other one. Make sure it's her. That's Nancy. Yeah. So I did. I forgot I needed two of her. So you can see the difference now that she's dry. You can see, well, maybe not on this one, but obviously when things are shiny and white, you don't see all the detail. So let's go back to that Minotaur and see how he looks instead. Now that he's more dry, perhaps you can see the detail in the face. You can see the fur on the shoulders. Alright, up next we have another Union soldier. He is resting his arm up on that cannon that they're firing. I may actually be limited to 25 minutes. And we're coming up on 22 and a half. I'm not sure if that's the case, but if it is, I may just get cut off, which is okay. Here's a base. Nothing exciting here, so let's get that done and find something else. Who is this? This might be Snape. Oh yeah, that's Snape. Grumpy old Snape. Obviously all these supports will come off, like I said. I always clean them up as best I can before I ship them out. But there is Professor Snape. Okay, let's do a really bigger one now. This is a special order from somebody. I'm not sure who the designer is, or I would credit them, but wanted these at around 3.5 inches. So this is a person who is feeding a shell into a mortar. There is another part to this, which I don't know if we'll see tonight or not, of the person holding the actual RPG. Definitely needs lots of cleaning. But we'll save some of that. And see who's next. We are at 24:30. I may be cut off in 30 seconds. We'll see. Up next we have another Ron. So another Harry Potter miniature. But this one, or I should say Harry Potter character. This one being Ron. He looks a little more smug maybe than the actual Ron. Okay, 25 minutes just passed, and we're still on. We've had a few people drop in. Nobody said hi so far, but that's okay. Let's pull out the next one, and this looks like Lord Vecna. Yep, let's go ahead and get them cleaned up. So we had another pop in and then disappear. I won't update you every time that happens. They don't even stay long enough for me to move my hand so they can see the name of my shop. So put here, another Lord Vecna. Up next, this one's by DM Stash. This is, I think I have him as a Faceless King or something like that, Fallen King on my page. His name from DM Stash is Orsinius. And that is the 32mm version. This one goes back once again to that Plague Doctor miniature that I've been mentioning. His other hand was holding a cane, this one's holding a lantern. And once again, we have Lord Voldemort. Oh, I'm gonna have to clean these so much. So much cleaning. He who must not be named, looking grumpy. Let's get the other mortar guy, the other RPG guy in there, so you can see what he looks like. And then we'll get a Treant. And we'll let those soak for a minute. We'll pop one more in there. Then we'll probably end it right around there after we finish these. The rest are all bases, nothing of particular interest. So let's see. Here is one of those bases. I just want to get it out of the way while those other ones soak. And let's try this RPG guy. Gotta be careful, don't want to break them. Obviously, the bigger they are, the longer they take to print, so you gotta be extra careful. Oop. There we go. There we go. So that's what he looks like. So if you put them together, you have him launching that into there. Very cool. And just a handful more. This is the shield. a base. And let's look at that tree end. This comes in 2 parts. Well, it comes in more than that because this base has 2 parts, but the body comes in 2 parts. This is by DM Stash. You can see mushrooms, fungus growing on them. Let's look at the top now. There we go. This is his back, obviously. Let's turn him around. And there we have his front. This is, as I said, the top. This is the bottom. Might need to clean it out a little to get it to fit together properly, which I'll do. Sometimes I need to sand them. I always try to make sure they fit. There we go. Still needs a little sanding perhaps, but there we have the tree end. Alright, so there we have it. Etsy.com/Jukes3D or shop/Jukes3D. So thanks for tuning in.